Alright, I'm also going to start a timer on here just so I know.
I already started the video.
You started already?
Yeah, it's going.
So today I'm going to be introducing you to proper running form, and we're going to be using a treadmill today since it's harder to get videos while I'm moving. You always want to safely get on the treadmill, and one of the first things that you want to focus on is the use of internal and external cues. So some of the internal cues that you can use while running is to keep your knees up, because if you keep your knees up, that's going to result in better knee drive. And you also want to act like you are kicking your butt with your feet, like so. And you want to land on the forefoot like you're almost pawing the ground. So if I was to stand like this, it would be like I'm pawing the ground just as a cat would. And you can use lots of these internal and external cues to enforce proper running form. So some of the internal cues can be things such as, keep your knees up, and some of the external cues can be things as, like imagine you're pulling a sled behind you on the ground, or you are pawing the ground to really get that motion. And you can also visualize and think about how yourself as a runner, you want to look. So if you can visualize yourself from an outside perspective, think of a gazelle in the African savannah, just very easily gliding through the fence. You want to keep your arms relaxed. You don't want to keep them too tight and in a very rigid motion. You want to keep them to the side, just nice and relaxed. You want to imagine that you're holding a potato chip in your hands. So if I was holding a potato chip in my hands right here, I shouldn't break it if I'm running like this. So just nice and relaxed, hands relaxed. You don't want to bottom the fists and waste too much of that energy. Next, you want to focus on your foot strike. And everyone's foot strike is going to be a little bit different. Here, you can see that I kind of have a midfoot to forefoot landing. Other people will be landing on their heels a little bit. And running on your heels can be seen as bad running form because you might be leaning back too much, placing too much stress on your lower ankles, and leaning too far forward, you're putting too much stress on your quads. So you want to have a slight lean, that you might be able to see in this video. Just be slightly leaning forward, keeping the arms relaxed. And you want to keep your eyes forward as well. You don't want to keep your head down or your head up too much, because you're going to ruin your back posture. And you can see here as well, my arms and my back, they're slightly rotating side to side. You don't want to overexert yourself, because then you're adding too much energy in the transverse plane, or the frontal plane that you don't want. And one of the things too, with proper running form, is the implementation of feedback. So different runners may require constant feedback, especially if you're a new runner starting. You might be starting running and, one cue, one internal cue, one external cue may be too much, and you might just want to focus on yourself. So for example, some runners benefit more from constant feedback. So every single time they run, hey, this is what looked good, this is what didn't. Some may benefit more from more delayed feedback or infrequent feedback over time. So after a race or an entire session, then they will receive feedback. And it's up to you to know how much feedback you may require and when while running. And it changes per person as well. And it's important to know what kind of feedback you require as an individual, because too much feedback can make you focus on your form too much. It may become too internal instead of external, and you're focusing so much that you try to micromanage every little movement, which can result in actual worse form. So it depends on if you benefit more from internal cues or external cues. And another thing to consider as well, that over time as you age, and depending on lots of environmental factors, you can be running on different surfaces, uphill, downhill. You may be older, so you may have a shorter stride. You may be younger and stronger. You may have a longer stride. So lots of factors come into play. And on top of that, running form is also relevant to open and closed loop skills. And here, running is an open loop skill because it refers to a really open, predictable environment, such as in a track race, doing laps, knowing what you're going to be expecting a set amount of distance. It's creating the same locomotive movement patterns over and over and over again, versus where in other sports like soccer, you may be making different movement patterns based on responses to the game around you. Furthermore, it's also a serial skill because it is comprised of different small motor movements into a continuous cycle. So like a discrete movement, like a punch, where you're going to have a definite start and a definite end, we're different here in that the one definite end and start, there really is no definite end and start. It's just the same cycle of movements over and over, showing how running is a serial skill comprised of many micro discrete skills. So one more time, I'm going to hop back on the treadmill and just give another quick overview of some form cues. This is going to take a second. So again, you want to act like you're holding a potato chip, nice and relaxed. You don't want to be leaning too far forward and pacing too much stress on the quads. You don't want to be leaning too far back, placing unnecessary stress on your lower back. And you also want to aim for a forefoot to midfoot strike unless you have a natural heel strike. Because if you have a natural heel strike, it can become a problem where if it's slowing you down too much, where there's a little braking motion when I make contact. But if it's a rolling motion instead, see here a little bit, that's usually acceptable. But if you do yourself micro braking each step, then that's what you don't want. So you want to hold when you're pawing at the ground and you're kicking out behind you. You're trying to get dirt off your shoes. Keep the arms loose. Imagine you're a professional runner, just nice and relaxed. And keep the head loose, keep the back loose. You don't want to be too tight in the back or too far forward, wasting unnecessary energy, displaying a motion. And you want to best leg forward lean. And that should be it. Thanks for watching my video on running forward. Hope you learned a little bit how it relates to motor skill development.